You know, when I was watching this, all I can think was, I hope someone wakes me up from this nightmare. How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to my channel. Today, we're talking about a brand new Shudder release called A Nightmare Wakes. Let me know in the comments before we begin what your thoughts on this movie were, if you already saw it, if you're excited for it, if you weren't planning on seeing it, let me know so we can discuss. Also, make sure to hit that thumbs up button if you like these reviews because it helps me out immensely by getting my channel out there and growing the community. And if you are new here, I hope you consider hitting that subscribe button so you can stay up to date with reviews of new releases, older films, hidden gems, and so much more on a near daily basis. But let's not waste any more time and let's talk about A Nightmare Wakes. This is an adaptation of the novel Frankenstein, as told through the life of Mary Shelley, played by Alix Wilton Regan. As she creates her masterpiece, she gives birth to a monster. This is written and directed by Nora Unkel in her feature debut, and this takes a similar approach that another recently released Shudder film called The Queen of Black Magic also did, and that's trying to look at things such as trauma and tell it through a horror/thriller lens. Though, whereas Queen of Black Magic was mostly effective at that approach, this missed the mark for me. Now, I will say Uncle's direction, while not consistent, was one of the better aspects of the film. There were some solid moments of creepy imagery and slow-burning suspense at various points that, while they were only sporadic, were engaging for when we did see them. But that's about the nicest thing I can say about this movie, unfortunately. I don't know the entire story behind Mary Shelley's life, to be perfectly honest. I never read up too much on her, but this didn't provide much insight for me. I never really found myself able to care for her as a character. I mean, I felt bad for her to an extent. She has a lot going on, to say the least. She's pregnant and the entire experience has been traumatic for her. On top of that, she has a lot of issues with her husband Percy, played by Julian Yao Joyello, who's cold, manipulative, and jealous of her talents. But that aside, there was just nothing there that made me interested in her as a protagonist. They never gave us anything about Mary's actual personality that made us invested in taking this journey with her. They constantly showed her wallowing in sadness or pissed off all the time, and while I can find sympathy for the situation she's in, being in a state of sadness all the time does not constitute as an interesting personality or qualify as character development in film. So I was just never able to connect with her. And a few things didn't help matters either. One is the fact that the film in general has a very grim feel and a dark color palette that never once attempts to welcome its audience in and try to engage with viewers. And the other major issue is the acting, and I don't think I can fully blame the actors for this, as I feel this is partially a direction issue, but the film just doesn't look very convincing. While I said a few moments are genuinely creepy, for the most part it doesn't fully immerse me in this world, and that's the fact that I'm not into period dramas aside. I just didn't always buy the fact we were in the 1800s here. Between the costume design, the way the actors carried themselves, the way the lines were delivered, it felt like I was just watching modern day actors in costume reciting dialogue. I mean, I know that's technically what historical films are, but I rarely, if ever, saw Mary Shelley or Percy Shelley or any of these other historical figures. I just saw Alix Wilton Regan, Julian Yao Joyello, and so on. Now, I've never seen any of these actors in anything else before, and I hope this is just a simple misstep, but this was unfortunately not a great introduction to them for me. I constantly felt like I was just taken out of the moment. And because of that, I lost interest in the story. Now, I appreciate what the movie was trying to do, because there is a certain way when you can use horror to address heavier issues. Like I said, we just got another Shudder movie that did something similar, though not as a historical drama. But because this is just so cold and void of any real feeling, it just feels like a callous way of trying to evoke genre thrills through an actual historical figure's personal trauma. It felt like it was more interested in just using that trauma rather than having anything meaningful to say. And it can feel a little gross as a result. I really didn't like this at all. I was never able to fully buy it. I never felt like I was transported to this different time period, as it really felt like I was just watching modern actors instead of seeing past them and as if I was watching historical figures. It has a few moments here and there that were genuinely creepy, but for the most part, it's very dull, emotionless, and failed to provide anything insightful on Shelley herself. So I'd say pass on this. A Nightmare Wakes gets a 3.5 out of 10. Damn, the two worst movies of the year so far are unfortunately from Shudder, because I didn't like Hunted either. I'm trying to stay more up to date with all of Shudder's content this year, as they usually do have a lot of great original movies. This unfortunately just isn't one of them, so hopefully it'll only go up from here. Let me know though, did you see A Nightmare Wakes or are you planning to see it, and what were your thoughts? Did you find the story interesting at all, and what's your favorite Frankenstein movie? Let me know in the comments below so we can discuss. Also, if you enjoyed this video, please like it and share it, and for more movie reviews and film discussion, please make sure to hit that subscribe button to stay updated. Thanks for watching everyone, and I'll catch you next time.